Alright, so Epiphone Man 6669, here's our tape. He's asking me, what's going on, Trog? Well, today I had a pawn shop come over. They've bought some guitars from me before, so unfortunately they poached some guitars before I could make reviews of them. We lost two of the Zoot Suits. Don't worry, they were duplicates. It was a black and natural, and one of my black and reds. So if you've been waiting for the other Zoot Suit videos, black and red is still coming, but I actually have a different one that I like better. Carson is asking me what type of guitar pick I use. I've covered this in a few different videos because I've done some demonstrations for other companies who later don't like my opinion of their products, as well as that metal pick and comparison to a wooden and then a plastic. But my general pick that I use, I don't know if I'll be able to find one here. We'll get up close here. It's this Purple Snarling Dogs brand. Gauge wise, it is a 0.6 mm. But you know, sometimes when I'm playing heavier chunky stuff, I like to have a heavier gauge one. I don't know where that pick is, but I have one that's actually made out of an old record, and it just seems to work well with that. Danny Christian is asking about the Billie Joe Double Cut and the thoughts on it. I forget when those came out, but I think they're what, TV yellow? I could be wrong on that right now. But I like them. I think they're kind of cool. They have that skull or something. I don't know a lot about them, but it's on the pick guard, and that's like the only thing that says Billie Joe on it. I would like to review one of those in the future. HDSG wants to know what part of the States I'm in. I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so that's in Ohio. There's not a huge guitar market out there in this area, so that's why a lot of what I do is online. Dario, he's asking, well, I guess he's talking about the cabinet video. Not a lot of people watch that, and it seems to be 50-50 between whether people want the Mesa Boogie cabinet that has the vintage 30 speakers in it, and then versus the Scumbag custom. I'm still not sure which one I want to get. I have those until Saturday. For today's video, I did record one. It's the coolest guitar ever. You guys will love that on Saturday. But I recorded that one with the Mesa one, and then I think for Sunday's video, I'll be recording it before the guy comes to pick up his cabinets again, and then I'll just see if one of those works better. I'm almost leaning towards I don't want either of them, or maybe I have to have both or something. It's kind of hard to describe, because the distorted channel, I think it sounds really good on the Mesa, but not for everything. I mean, not everything should be, you know, the shredding and whatnot, but that's kind of what the tones come out of that thing. I think the next thing I might need to upgrade my audio interface. This is a Roland Duo Capture EX. It's only got the 2 inputs on it. I don't necessarily think this is any good, and maybe that's why some of my tone isn't fairly good. I don't know. These things are discontinued. I don't know a lot about the actual recording process. I've just kind of stumbled my way upon it. Drum Wild, thank you for the donation. $5 definitely goes a long way. We can use it towards the cabinets. He's saying he's selling some of his guitar collection on Reverb. But if you're ever selling stuff, honesty is definitely the best policy. Because if you're not honest about all the wear that's on it or modifications, it's going to come back to you, and then you won't be happy because you'll be paying not only the return shipping, but the initial shipping, and then it's just a headache. Richard Majewski, he wants to know if I ever had a Gibson with P100s. I'm pretty sure that's the stacked P90. Some people love them. Some people don't. They seem to get a lot of hate online for some reason. But yes, I have had one. That was like right when I moved into this house. If you go back on the channel a ways, you can actually see me back in the day. Really primitive recording on that Super Gold Tone amp. Jake Guitar Guy is asking me favorite soda brand. I really don't drink pop a lot, but when I do want to enjoy one, I usually go for a root beer of some sort. don't necessarily know the brands of those very well. So sorry I can't give you a very good answer, but I also like Sprite, anything within the Sprite family like Sierra Mist. Guitar Express is asking me the most expensive guitar I have ever purchased. Let me go get that for you. Alright, the Steve Howe The Les Paul. This is the most expensive guitar I have ever purchased. I mean, if you haven't watched the video on this thing, definitely do. I mean, I've got it advertised at $30,000. I'm not necessarily in any hurry to sell this thing. Making Robots is asking, do I have any new guitar children? I think you're asking me any new guitars that came in. I'll go get the one that just came in yesterday. Yep, so just boring black Les Paul. Oh wait. Oh, the Les Paul New Century. This thing is very hated and I got it simply to review it. I'm very curious to see what is underneath this pick guard. I don't know, guys. It'll probably be a month or two before you actually see the review and demo of it. But, it's coming. Lawyer Morty is asking, do I have a daughter or a son? Both. Looks like your name's Lyrical1. Why almost no Gibson basses on my show? I've had a few. Some of them were before I actually recorded. I've had the RD Artist bass, so that's one of them. And I do like Gibson basses. I think they kind of have an interesting history to them. But the reason why I don't buy more of them is because, well, I don't really play bass. And the other reason is I just don't have a bass amp. I'm sorry. When I get a bass in and I have to play it, I run it through my old Line 6 Spider because I don't care if that thing explodes. Artie Fresh, he's asking me about the Buckethead Les Paul, which is my favorite modern Les Paul. It's one of the best sounding because it's super huge, whereas the Spotlight Special is my favorite Les Paul of all time. He's saying, if I don't have access to the Signature or the Studio Les Paul, which guitar would I choose? I can't necessarily give you a direct point, go to this guitar, but I think you'll have to go to a different brand other than Gibson or Epiphone. What you need is a baritone scale guitar, because that will get you closer to that whole sound that those things have. Now, I haven't tried any other baritone things, so maybe I'm wrong, but we will find out that very soon, because I got one of those baritone studio Les Pauls on the way. And if you guys haven't signed that petition to get the Buckethead reissued, please do. Last I checked, we were at 1,050 signatures, which is pretty good. But I would like to get it to 10,000 maybe, because at that point I think we would get Epiphone and or Gibson's attention. Another thing you can do to help out that cause is share that petition video on guitar forums for me, because I don't like posting on guitar forums. It feels like self-advertising. But if somebody else posts it, it's yeah, I made a difference in someone's life enough to post about what I made. Alex R wants to know the best piece of life advice. Basically, work hard. Don't give up and just keep following your dreams in a way. I mean, I'm where I am today simply because I worked my butt off as a teenager. I didn't have much of a social life, and, I set myself up very well financially, and I think I'm doing pretty alright. But at the same time, I don't think you should sacrifice all of your social life. That might not always be the best case. But just work hard and be, diligent with what you do and be honest. Nathaniel is asking me about a job outside of guitars. No, this is my job now. And I'm glad you brought that back up. I'm thinking about a guitar blog in a way, where I think the reason why a lot of my videos don't get discovered is because Google can't pick up on absolutely everything I say in the video. So basically this new website would be everything that's in the video, all those nitpicky details that everybody's searching for, but in an online article format, so Google could pick that up. So more people get educated, and ultimately more people end up supporting me. Lucho is asking about the Gibson Custom / Brazilian Dream. I saw that get listed last night on Reverb by Chicago Music Exchange. What? Poor Slash, first off. You know that has to do with his whole divorce, that they're releasing another signature guitar from him. I think, what is it, $13,000? And I guess the only thing that's really special is the Brazilian board. I didn't read too much into it. I saved it in my list for maybe a rock or not in the future. Another one from good old Dario. He wants to know if I've purchased a guitar with girl stickers on it. No, but I have had the Pinup Girl Telecaster that Sarah Ray had painted. That guitar, I didn't necessarily find it attractive, but I liked the guitar. It sounded great. I think, what was it, the Filtertron pickup or something like that? You'll have to look that up on my channel if you haven't watched that one. Paul Freely is asking, is there a guitar that I want but have not had? Well, Sparkle Top Deluxe, that's #1. I want a blue one the most because those things are beautiful. They were limited edition. I guess the guy who runs Guitar Center or something, he really likes those things and made Gibson reissue them. So that was kind of an interesting story to hear. Another one, the M3 Stealth. I guess one more would be the Rick Nielsen Cheap Trick Les Paul. It's a prehistoric. It's got the Les Paul body shape, and then it has the Explorer headstock. John Clark, thank you for the donation. $5 to the cabinet fund here. He's asking that he's been looking for Gibson Les Pauls on Reverb here. And he wants to know my thoughts on why so few 90s and 2000s Les Pauls are listed from these years. Honest answer, it's because they're the best ones. I have seen the prices on those things just boop. People are asking more than historics for these things, which I think is bizarre. They should not be going for that much. But the reason why that's the most desirable years, you know, from like the 90s into, I think the cutoff is like mid-2005, around 2006, is because that's when chambering started. And in my experience, the chambered standards from the ones I've had just sound not like a standard. Paul Freely, he says he bought a Darkfire based off of, I think that was a Rock or Not episode where I featured the Darkfire and the lesser known London Fog. Hopefully this doesn't change your opinion of it, but I was actually misquoting myself in that video. I don't think I've ever actually owned a Darkfire. I completely mistook that guitar for the Dusk Tiger. They're very similar guitars, but it's the Dusk Tiger that I have a terrible opinion of because it was broken when I got it. I guess this will piggyback on something I talked about last time, where I was thinking of a new channel. I had talked about maybe doing a gaming channel again, just so I could have some fun from time to time that's different from guitars. But I think what I would ultimately like to do if I do another channel, it would be something to do with animation. Like, what I do is just, I take photos from the internet, I crop them a little bit, and I make them move, I add sound effects. That's my idea of animation, but I would also love to get into, like the drawing animations and things like that. And if you guys like the questions and answers topics, I see some people from last time, they seem to enjoy just being able to talk, casually and whatnot. We could do this every Thursday if we wanted to. I almost feel that might be too much. Maybe we should limit it to like every other week or once a month. But let me know your comments in the uploaded video, the re-uploaded one, or right now, right before I log off. But yeah, thank you Troglodytes for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow on Fender Friday.